So wonderful. Everybody made it here after the big party yesterday. Congratulations to you, because now we're talking about the most important and impactful topic in the industry and what's actually happening, what's the latest. Everybody's looking for that. We will talk about Sandbox. We have Amit here. Very good to have you. And Barak from AppsFlyer, and myself, I'm co-founder and CEO of Remerge, app retargeting DSP. So for us, obviously, also very impactful when we talk about what happens with the IDs and what's coming up next. But maybe let's do a first round of introductions and like what you have been working on and why you actually think it makes sense that you sit here. Amit, let's start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey everyone, my name is Amit Varia, Director of Product on the Privacy Sandbox. I actually oversee the relevance side of the solutions that we're working on for the Privacy Sandbox. So that includes things like protected audience, protected app signals, topics, SDK runtime, and some other areas as well. So hopefully that gives a rationale for why I'm here today to chat with everybody and chat with you guys about Privacy Sandbox. I've been a part of the team for a couple years now, and really excited to get a chance to speak with you guys and speak with everybody here today.
Wonderful, thank you. Barak?
Hi everyone, I'm Barak. I'm overseeing the product in AppsFlyer. Our entire suite of products made by the core attribution package, audience segmentations, cost aggregation, anti-fraud solution, data clean room and all. And basically I would say measurement is a thing for us. So hopefully it also explains why I'm here.
Yeah, very good. And specifically about the future and how that will look like, because by kind of I think what everybody knows is that it touches like every element how we're working today, and I think like the key goal is to still make all techniques still available under Sandbox, and we are all working together to just like help on creating the path to there and have a good technology for all advertisers to still run like scalable campaigns and very performance based. I think like this is on the high level, but let's talk maybe one level deeper and what's the latest status and roadmap and things like that. I mean, you, I guess, have the best insights on that one to give everybody a current view on that.
No, absolutely. So Privacy Sandbox for Android, I'm sure everyone here attending, you're familiar with what we're doing. Of course, we've got over the last couple of months, quarters, years, we've been working on developer previews, so that way people can get hands-on with our APIs and our solutions. They're able to start testing and exploring. We're also publishing more and more explainers and more information about our proposals online. Last quarter, or I guess now it's 2 quarters ago, Q4, we posted more information about the protected app signals. And so, yes, we've just got more and more coming for this year. It's really about engaging with the ecosystem on testing, getting forward on getting more and more testing happening on devices, on users' devices.
Okay, and so that's from your perspective, right? Google trying to orchestrate that, I guess, that's from our view, I guess. Barak, I think because you have so many interfaces with so many players in the industry, how do you see it, how the ecosystem is looking at that at the current stage?
Yeah, I think generally before going into the details, it's pretty nice to see how the ecosystem matured over the years, and with the tectonic shifts, I would say, happened a few years ago on the other platform. And I think everyone want to be prepared much ahead. Probably some of the people maybe learned it the hard way, but being prepared ahead is super important here. I think everyone really appreciates and understands the fact that we're talking here about a very holistic solution. It's not just about measurement. You mentioned, Amit, protected audiences, protected signals, SDK runtime, a lot of details around campaign optimizations and how they can be done. But I would say that the other side of this holistic solution is that it's a rather complex one. So I think most of our discussions with the ecosystem, of course, with tons of advertisers, but also ad networks, DSPs, SSPs, is I would say how to simplify and generally where to start. I think that people were more tensed before, but now they understand that they're still gonna get the level of configuration for many things around measurement, attribution windows, etc. Understanding there is flexibility in the levels of aggregation. I would say that one topic that is coming more and more in the discussions, and that's like a general trend in the ecosystem, is the dependency on first-party data. So understanding how their first-party data can take a part in the Privacy Sandbox framework, how LTV calculation can be done together with first-party data and so on.
Yeah. And you see like that's going to a more practical way with solutions, and everybody can be kind of relaxed and enjoy the sun here at the pool, or
no.
Okay.
But maybe it's a good point to mention here that I would say maybe unlike SKAd network, and that's like the dynamics of Android whatsoever, there's not going to be like one day where we're going to switch from 0 to 1. Mm-hmm. Android, by definition, is much more fragmented, different OS versions, different manufacturers. So changes will happen first gradually by definition, but also second by design. I know we work with Amit and the team quite closely, and the way it's been done on incremental stages, learning, releasing the next version. So on that manner, I think people can be very relaxed that we will learn together along the way how to work with it.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I think, and it's your point. Like kind of the industry, specifically us here, right? We know most of the times, like at the last or previous MAUs, we were talking about iOS and the impact and how to run attribution, like how to run good campaigns. Like relearning after everything has been just like pushed out into the market and industry. And right now, like I think, the difference is that a lot of the heavy lifting is done in the background. Yeah, so like us discussing every time, every week together, testing things out, and for a lot of the advertisers that they don't actually see what's going on, but we try to create the solutions so that ideally in the future it doesn't feel like so much of a change like it was from iOS, where you had really to start completely from zero, and everything what you knew before, all your tech stack was worth nothing. Right. So and yeah, like looking at the time, how long we are doing that, 1-2 years of full work and investment into that, and the iterations what we're doing, I think that's a very good development. And as you said, I think the uncertainty everybody had at the beginning, that again, like another change also on Android, and will it be as bad as it was like for everybody on the Apple side? It's definitely looking like better and better each day for all of us, right? Anything to add maybe from your perspective? I mean, you were also like kind of in the middle of all the discussions and how you see it.
Yeah, no, I think a couple of things I would just call out. It's important for everyone here to realize that the way we think about our solutions, whether it's our attribution products or optimization products, we see them all really as building blocks, right? Mm-hmm. So they're not intended to be a drop-in replacement for any kind of part of the existing ad tech supply chain, any in that sense. It's really about how the ecosystem integrates it into their own solutions and develops on top of it, right? Mm-hmm. So being able to provide unique value, being able to do more with it, really this kind of, we see the APIs as the enablers, and then combining it with other kind of solutions like first-party data and all of this makes complete sense, because it kind of brings together the variety of different sources that the ecosystem can use to be able to power this. So I think it's a really important piece to consider as you're thinking about when to get started, right? And of course, my message will always be get started today, start learning about this, work with ad tech providers or any of your partners to be able to kind of work through this, but make sure you're thinking about how to build on top of this and what more can you be doing there.
I mean, like now we talked about the positive things. So now, like I think we have a general positive message, maybe compared to last year where there were a lot of unknowns. But still, like when we look at the gap and what we need to close, Barak, do you know, like, is there something like from the ecosystem what would be needed in order to just like get to the next phase faster? Or?
I would say two main things. One, I 100% agree with Amit that eventually Privacy Sandbox is a framework, is building block, is bunch of APIs, and by itself, the value is, I would say, limited before all of us as an ecosystem are innovating on top of it with the frameworks, with what can be run inside the TEEs, with how we're gonna build the aggregation services, we're gonna innovate with first-party data, with chiming in cost aggregation and so on. But I would say that because, as Amit said, the idea here is to maintain all the different parties in the ecosystems, and self-reporting networks are still self-reporting networks, and click networks are click networks, and DSPs and SSPs, etc. It means that we must have very strong partnerships between all the different parties. Again, from our point of view, certainly MMP is a very central part of it, because eventually the level of value that app owners here and marketing performance will get is as the weakest link in within their stack. So only if MMP will do their part, and advertisers and DSPs and SSPs and the ad networks and the mediation, only if we're gonna build strong partnership in that framework, only then value is gonna be like super rich.
Yeah, and I think like that's exactly, I mean, how long did it take to get there right now, right? With, I mean, also you might have recognized you are able to get here like quite a lot of swag. And the reason for that is we have a lot of like players in the industry who all are connected together, and where you create like so much value in that, and all of us like need to move forward together to just like maintain exactly that innovation and the and the tech stack on that one, right? And everybody who is maybe just like waiting and seeing, specifically now, as I said, like over 2 years we are working on that together, and just forming exactly the future together with Google, with AppsFlyer, with everybody in the industry, just like to create a very innovative, robust model that helps in a very privacy safe future. Much better that how we did the rollout together, all together with Apple back then. I agree with you that at least like also from our perspective, where we have good connections to the advertisers, and they're asking us, okay, when can we test? When can we test? Obviously, for us also to do an end-to-end test, we need to have like exactly all the players in that stack to participate and to have it implemented. And one of the key challenge is also obviously, do you invest the resources right now when there is like still a bit of uncertainty, where it doesn't necessarily give incremental revenue right away? So it's really more experimental. So how do you manage that in terms of the roadmap? But I think like we are getting to a more and more robust final solution from Sandbox, at least like in the first version, to start innovating on, and it's like clearer how it's being framed. So I agree that I see now.
By the way, if I may add one sentence, basically always it's a good tip, start testing now. But another very strong reasoning, and we've seen it on the Apple side, to start testing now is because as long as GAAP is still fully valid, it really helps to build your privacy sandbox strategy and models, because you can compare it to parallel realities, and that's a very strong thing we've learned from working with dozens of advertisers also on the Apple side.
I agree. And actually, I was also talking, and what you look at from the website, because they are maybe a little bit more ahead already with the cookie deprecation, that also there you see like, okay, the ones who are really visible, who are doing well in that new framework are the ones who have started investing early, and just like build up the infrastructure, the organization, like internally, the operations and everything, and knew already, and then we're already so much into the details compared to maybe, starting really late, and then you're just going through that whole cycle of doing things wrong, and it takes time, and then catching up is tricky with everything else that is going on, right? When we started already talking about advertisers, so I said like for us, we get also a lot of requests saying like, where can we test? How does it look like? Obviously also how the flow changes and things like that. Amit, maybe you start with like, how do you see that part of the ecosystem, what they should do, can they participate maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, echoing what you guys have been saying, right? This year is really about testing and gathering feedback. So we announced 2 years ago, the beta came out last year. Folks like Remerge, AppsFlyer, and others have been involved in giving us feedback, helping us shape the APIs. We've launched new proposals, but a variety of improvements to the APIs themselves have been coming, small feature enhancements, unblocking things. That's been tremendous. And I kind of want to encourage the group here, whether you're an app developer working with partners, ad tech partners, or you're building your own ad tech solutions, making sure that you also are starting to get involved earlier in the process and giving us feedback. I don't shy away from the fact that it is something new that will take time to learn. It is something I think, Pan, you were saying this, it's not going to be something that you can just drop in, in a week and you'll be good to go. It is going to take some time. So making sure you're understanding how the APIs work, working with your ad tech partners, and what their strategies are looking like, is going to be an important thing. What we're looking for here on the Privacy Sandbox is getting that feedback. What use cases are important? What's not yet, covered in our APIs? How can we go about, improving our services? We do plan to continue to invest in this over, as part of a multi-year initiative. But it's great if we can get the feedback from the groups today and this year for us to really kind of firm up our APIs and have that confidence that it covers the use cases that are most critical and important for the ecosystem.
I think it seems like everyone are talking also about the attribution parts of Privacy Sandbox, and measurement partners are really leading the discussion. But Privacy Sandbox goes way beyond that with the signals and with the audiences and topics and SDK runtime. And I think I would encourage everyone also to look into these parts where we've had our partnership with Remerge, because this change is way bigger than the measurement aspects.
Yeah, I agree. If you look at the summary of it, it's so many different components, and that's exactly what we discussed at the beginning. That kind of all marketing techniques, what you have today, should also be available going forward in a privacy-friendly process, right? So for us, obviously, the biggest thing also we work together with the protected audiences, so that the whole retargeting, re-engagement piece is working in a scalable way together with the integrations we have right now. So we started already that really early on, where we are quite confident that we're getting there. I said more and more of the tech stack. Also, something which is completely new when we talk about what's maybe good also for the future is completely new things like the Topics API, where it's a completely new signal which comes on top of what we have already right now, right? At least for the first period of time. So this can be leveraged, and you can build innovation on top of that. And that's the point. Even when we are talking here, if you're hearing about it for the first time, about those APIs, it sounds really technical and difficult and challenging. But when you go a level deeper and think about use cases, what to do with it, how to combine that, that's I think where a lot of innovation can happen, and where we are also excited about that. Because when we get over the bridge and IDs are gone and privacy and everybody has the new experience, then we will have an MAU where we don't talk about privacy at all, because we can focus really on how to get better performance, how to scale, how to be efficient and effective, again like it used to be 10 years ago. But right now we have to do the groundwork, I guess, and go through that path.
Just one thing that I think it's really important to mention before we run out of time. Something, again, we've seen it in iOS very strongly, SKAd network was a big change, but eventually it was one piece in a puzzle that should be combined with deterministic measurement and any modeling that you have, and media mix and Apple search ads and all of that. I would say same thing is very important in Privacy Sandbox, so that the folks here should know Privacy Sandbox is not about replacing everything. There is still Google Play refer around. There are other measurement techniques that are going to be there, and it's not basically Privacy Sandbox is going to play a very centric role in it, but by itself, it's not enough. The real question is how you combine the signals and the data that you get out of it with all the other different signals that you have, with cost aggregation, with rich first-party data, and only by that creating one unified reality. And we believe this is for us in AppsFlyer, the biggest responsibility towards the ecosystem, taking these important frameworks, uniting them with other frameworks around there, and creating one reality. I think this is like the make or break generally for adoption of Privacy Sandbox.
Yeah. And on that, like, we really appreciate working with you exactly and trying that you get everybody on board and coordinate, as I said. And that's like also from you. Yeah, thank you for having the APIs available for us to test.
And for listening to the feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
We appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Good. I think we are almost on time. Amit, you want to say like maybe?
Thank you for the opportunity. Great to see so many bright faces on the last day of MAU after what I heard was an interesting night last night for everybody. But no, I think it's great to be able to kind of get feedback, get engagement. The feedback really does help shape the product. I think you both and your investments are a really good testament to that. And so my feedback here would be, make sure to be thinking about what do you want your attribution story, your user acquisition story, and what do you want your user re-engagement and audience interest-based strategies to be in a privacy-forward world, and make sure you're incorporating Privacy Sandbox APIs into them. As you do that, engage with us on privacysandbox.com, where you can even declare yourself as a public tester. So that way, if you do need help engaging with others in the value chain, that's a great way for others to know who else is involved and communicate and connect with folks. So great opportunities there. Along the way, any feedback that anyone here has, we're always welcome and we're always eager to hear from everybody.
Thank you. Barak, last words?
Let's have fun.
Yeah, right. Okay, so if you want to continue having fun, our cabanas are next to each other at the pool. We can go there if you need like some refreshment. And with that being said, thank you so much for your attention, and thank you for the great panel here with all the insights. And have fun at the MAU. And I'll see you latest next year.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks.